DNA is one pretty amazing little molecule. It controls so much about us, from the colour of our eyes to the shape of our ears. It even influences things like how intelligent we are or how tall we grow. DNA might sound complex, but when you look at it closely, it's actually surprisingly simple. All of our DNA, whether you're a human, a dog, or a banana, is made of exactly the same thing. Simple little building blocks that we call nucleotides. Each nucleotide has 3 smaller parts: a sugar called deoxyribose, a group of phosphate atoms, and a nitrogen-rich molecule that we call a base. There are 4 different types of these bases, giving us 4 different types of nucleotides. As geneticists, we use a shorthand code for the 4 types and call them A, C, G, and T. The only real difference between our DNA as humans and the DNA of any other living thing is how many of these A's and C's and G's and T's we use and the order in which we put them. If we take about 6 billion nucleotides and put them in the right order, we get human DNA. If we take around the same number of nucleotides but mix up the order a bit, we'll get the DNA of a bonobo. If we halve the number and mix up the order again, we get the DNA sequence of an oak tree. Although the basic code itself is simple, the way we use this DNA is more complicated. Genes are short sections within our DNA that are used to make proteins that our cells and bodies need to function. Each gene has its own function, but in any of our cells, at any given time, we're only using a portion of our genes to make proteins. This is why, even though they all have the same DNA, the different cells of our body look and function quite differently. Your DNA is about 99.9% similar to any other person, so why don't we all look the same? Although we all share the same genes, we can have slightly different versions of these genes, which we call alleles. These different versions of genes work slightly differently to each other, and so give us variation in the characteristics that they control. So if you're wondering why you have blue eyes and someone else has brown, well, it's all in your genes. Got a genetics question? Drop it in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.